Run the clip.
Woo! We party like 99. I got 100 more problems than 99. We party like 99. I got 100 more problems than 99. And if none of them is bitches, then I might be lying. If none of them is bitches, then I might be lying. Woo! We party like 99, I got 100 more problems than 99. And if none of them is bitches, then I might be lying. If none of them is bitches, then I might be lying.
Okay, so if you don't know who our guests. First of all, I want to say this is episode 8. You know, shout out to the squad, man. Episode 8. We've done 8 of these in a row. You know? We did a where Eric was in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? We brought in. I'm just proud of the team. I know. You know. Let me talk my shit. I know we had half of the serious rap shit podcast who on last week who now have adopted us. They gave us chains. Now we own the squad. They don't know it, but they know it. We're part of that squad too. And they got 149, probably 150. We on 8, and I feel good about it. So for the magical number 8, if you don't know from that clip, you know what I'm saying? We got the incredible, you know what I'm saying, international Haitian rap superstar, you know what I'm saying? I could go on with the accolades, you know what I'm saying? Aime, hither, Aime, you know what I'm saying? The rapper Aime.
What's going on?
What's up, Aime?
I'm good, man. How y'all feeling, man?
We are great.
I'm good, brother.
Happy to have you here. This is a layup for us because this is like, you know what I mean?
It's family.
Conversations and normal things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just so you know who everybody is, you know, obviously, you know Eric Boss. You guys did a project together, so I could be, yeah. Eric's on us. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know Yaya. She's our CEO. She's the queen that makes everything happen in an orderly and timely fashion, and
right.
But also brings sparks of ideas, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm freestyling. I might fuck up. I might go with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you also know J-Dog because he's posting about all the work that you guys are doing on his Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You know him as Jason Bachman, a.k.a. JS Beats, a.k.a., you know what I'm saying, the best videographer, photographer, editor.
Give him all that. Give him all that.
Where's the lie?
Give the drummer some.
What's up, Aime?
On this show, we call him J-Dog. You know what I'm saying?
You call him J-Dog.
Yeah, when he says we, he means I.
And by we, yeah, I mean I call him J-Dog, and I'm hoping everybody else will start calling him J-Dog. And then he'll start calling himself J-Dog.
Then I'll ask my family to call me J-Dog.
It's only been 8
weeks. His daughter will call him Papa J-Dog. Papa
Yeah.
J-Dog, tell us about the time when you interview Aime on your podcast, Papa J-Dog.
I'll be sure to call him that in my next studio session with him.
Please. I love it.
Oh, man.
He smiles every time. I don't know if that's like I'm going to kill him or like stop it. And then last but not least, we got Mike. Mike is our resident photographer, interviewer, editor, personality. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, he don't know you.
If you thought he did.
You know what I'm saying? Heard a few songs. Oh, he's cool with you guys. I'll check him out.
Right.
Mike, you know what I'm saying? We're here to really broaden Mike's horizon. You see, you got the new poppin' art. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to give him as many compliments as possible until he upgrades. So, you know what I mean? Like, congratulate him on his art, you know what I'm saying, on his CD. He likes that kind of thing. And So I'm happy we're all here. I can talk forever, but I just wanted to say what's up to everybody. And this is episode 8, and we got, you know what I'm saying, we got the Haitian superstar, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, new singles out everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, how you feeling, man? What's happening? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man. First of all, thank you all for being, let me come on here today. Tiny Room is like family. We go back for years, and I'm happy to be able to still build with y'all and still connect during pandemic and crazy times like this. I've been feeling great. As you know, me and Eric, Eric's working on his Better Late Than Never record, and it started with a song. He played me a beat, and he was like, yeah, we all know you can rap. We all know you got the bars, and that's cool. But you Haitian, you need to start tapping into that shit. And, he sends me this playlist, and it was like the first song on the playlist. I was like, yo, I got something for this. He was like, okay, we'll see. And then just came through, stepping out of the box and getting out of my comfort zone.
Okay, we know you singing and crooning now. That's what's up.
Yeah. So singing and then now we got it. So
we heard the single you singing. You're getting the baritone bassy vibes going with the voice. You know what I'm saying? Count bassy, we got you. First of all, before we go any further, what are you drinking? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Dragon's Milk.
Not that you have to be drinking. We're not promoting you have to be drinking, but I know you're drinking something over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a bourbon aged stout. 11%. You actually put me on years ago. Very
Sounds
tasty.
like a winner.
And yeah, it's a winner. It's rich. It's rich in flavor. It's like dark. It's a darker beer. So it's more like close to coffee and chocolate, but it gets the job done. You only need like a couple and you'll be good. I'm chilling.
Well, on that note, you know what I'm saying? I like to toss it over to Mike, because Mike had this segment called Over a Drink. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna take it from here.
Hey, what up, bro?
I'm chilling, man. How you
You know
feeling?
what I mean? I do this thing called Over a Drink where I sit and I rap with people, you know what I mean? We pour a drink, we talk till the drink is done, and we just talk about whatever it's on our mind under the sun. I usually, like I said, in other ones, I usually try to get a feel for the artist and then or who the guest is, and I try to bring the drink and do something around what I think that guest might be into.
Right.
But I didn't spend enough time with you. I'm sorry, man. Let's just call it what it is. But that being said, what I thought of though, right? I had some Three Amigos tequila in the house.
Okay.
And I figured you worked with Eric, worked with Jason, y'all put out this project, Three Amigos. Boom.
There you
This
go.
will work.
It works out. It works out. See that? See, you thinking, dog. You right there. I see where you at.
This work.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna sip. So I'm gonna pour a little Three Amigos in this glass, man. We gotta have a sip, man. And while I do that, man, introduce me to you, man. Like, who are you? What do you do, man? Like, what's your story, man? Real quick.
All right, so I'm a rapper, songwriter based in Philadelphia. Originally came up in New York from Queens. Came out to Philly for school, and that's basically where I found myself as an artist. Hopping in ciphers, getting in the underground out here, in the like late 2000s, early 2010s, and just like creating relationships, meeting people like Dame, bringing me in to work with the legendary John Smelts. With all the connections like that, I decided to stay in Philly and keep leveling up and keep pursuing. So. I'm a rapper by trade. I'm also a songwriter, and yeah, that's who I am.
Well, I'm gonna say, man, I listened to a little bit of your work this afternoon before we got on the call. Like that Sherry joint is friggin' like that. Like first, I listened to your older stuff. Maybe it was like from last year. So I was like, all right, he's a rapper. He got bars. He's good.
Yeah,
I like him.
You were.
And I like the content.
Right.
And then I played the Sherry joint. I'm like, oh, this guy sings too. Like, holy smokes, man. Like, so I do appreciate your versatility, man, or versatility.
Yeah, you got a versatility. Yeah, versatility.
Whatever it is. Also, I'm going to say, you mentioned you was from Queens, and I caught that on one of the joints. You gave a shout out to Jamaica, Southside Jamaica.
Exactly. Yep, that's
I lived on 157th and 109th Avenue
Oh, really?
South Jamaica, Queens,
Yeah,
right around the corner.
Oh,
Right around the corner from 40 Projects. For a
oh
long
yeah,
time.
right by 40. Yeah, right by 40, man. Nah,
right
yeah,
on
I'm from.
something. Yeah. I was
That's
over there.
wild. Yeah, I'm from Rochdale, man. 130th and Bedell, man. I'm like 2 seconds away from Guy Brewer. That's where I
Yep.
grew up at, man. That's wild. That's what's up, dog.
Yeah, I'm a Queens representative all day, every day, man. So as soon as I heard that, I'm like, yo, he gets a pass even if he sucks.
That's
He's
what's
from
up.
Queens, he's gonna get a pass even if he sucks. Fortunately,
That's
you
what's
were
up.
good, and I didn't just have to act like I liked you.
Yeah, I'm glad you. I'm glad that was the case, man. All right, we got some hometown love. Man.
So
That's
hey,
what's up.
man, over a drink, brother. We toast to you, man. Repping Queens, repping Philly, and hey, Dane, man, back to you.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh man, yeah. So we had him check in. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo, you know what I'm saying?" He's like, "He ain't even know you, bro." You know what I'm saying? So we got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure this out.
Right.
So how you been, man? Like, how you been through this COVID? What you been doing, man? Like,
All right, so basically, as soon as COVID started, I was just like just bouncing back from some crazy stuff, and then we was forced to go into quarantine, and I took that opportunity to start writing an album. And I started writing an album called Jean 316, based on a lot of stuff, a lot of reflection, a lot of stuff that I had to grow on, had to progress with, and that was what I was all the way tapped into. Haven't started recording that yet, but will be soon with Eric and Jason. And besides that, I've just been trying to level up my own personal situation. I've been house shopping for the past 2 months.
oh,
What's up?
What's up,
man?
Yeah,
Talk
so ready to get out of this shitty apartment that I've been in for like 7 years, and it's a jungle out there, dog. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna come out of quarantine, I'm gonna come out of COVID leveled up, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't put two, three bids in already. Like I'm literally on the third bid. I'm just like actually by my phone waiting for my realtor to call me like, yeah, we got it. Like they're gonna do the deal, because it's just like people just swoop in, man. They outbid you. You're just not ready, and it catches you, it blindsides you. But that's pretty much where I've been at, writing music. Huh? What'd you say?
Tell us about this COVID house market, bro.
Yeah.
Tell us about the COVID house market. Like, it's really good.
So what's happening is the prices for the cribs are like still like relatively high, but it's like the rates and the deals right now are crazy. So basically, the last bid I put in, the actual price of the house was like way over what my price point was. This thing's like $450, and me and my realtor are doing the numbers, because I'm not just trying to get a house, I'm trying to get a duplex or a triplex. So I'm trying to like put the money down, get tenants in there, and rent out. And pay my mortgage. So we see this crib. It's been sitting for months. It's a brand new construction. It's beautiful inside, roof deck, everything. It's a 10-year tax abatement, which means your taxes stay at the same $137 a year for 10 years. And then for me to come in with a seller's assist, and that's like the seller helping with the down payment just to sell the crib. This is what's happening in COVID, just to get the cribs off. He's giving me a down, so I only have to put $13,000 down, and then I move in. So we sign all the paperwork. This is Friday. Sign all the paperwork. We about to do it and finish it. And then all of a sudden, the lot right next to this new building or this new construction gets permitted and bought. So now investors are coming in, and some investor comes in and says, I got $450K cash. What's up? And wants to take it now.
Yeah,
So now, so I already was like, and it's like, it's a jungle, yo. And it's like, all they're waiting for is to see that he actually has the
Where's that at? What area?
This is Old Kensington. So it's like 10 minutes from Northern Liberties. So they building that area up. That's what I'm trying to get something that has equity. And then like in like 5-10 years, I flip that shit for like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Something crazy. And I'm just trying to do that.
Rap money, man. Let's go.
I'm just trying to be smart and productive and everything, but it's getting harder. It's hard out here because people are just coming in. But I'm seeing about 3 or 4 more tomorrow while I'm waiting to see what happens with that one. So yeah, that's what I've been on.
So did you think that when you came here for college that you'd be like buying a crib in Philly and trying to like, you know what I mean?
Not at all, man. It was always like, all right, I'm gonna come here for school, get my degree that my parents want me to get, but I'm gonna pursue my music, and I'm gonna move back to New York after this. But it was the relationships, like I said before, it was connections I made in Philly. You know, the first being with my homie Chill Moody. Shout out to Chill Moody. And like, you know, him like basically bringing me into his family, showing me West Philly. I mean, that's how I became a West Philly resident, was through kicking it with Chill and T and Hank and the squad. And you know, they really brought me around a lot of people and a lot of different artists and rappers on the scene. I met a lot of producers. And it was just like, you know what, I'm just going to stay. I'm going to kick it here for a while. I'm just going to get a 9-to-5, a regular job. I'm going to kick it here for a while and see how it goes. But, you know, obviously, you know, a couple years later, you know, we meet, and then it's just like, it only makes sense. It doesn't make sense for me to leave Philadelphia when my base is here, when I have such a community here, when I have such a foundation and such support. And it only made sense to stay in Philly. So when I first came to college, when I first came to North Philly, when I came to Temple, I definitely didn't think, you know, 10 years later, I'd be trying to buy a house in Philly. But hey, that's where we are, and I love this city. So.
At the time when you came to college, or when you decided to stick around, what did your Haitian parents think about sticking around for rap? Also, like you know what I mean? How have your parents? You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, you're like a super family guy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. You go home for like family dinners and shit. You know what I'm saying? You're taking out the trash. You know what I'm saying? You're doing all, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like you know, what's that journey been like? Like educating your parents on like what you're trying to do.
Oh man, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it starts all the way from when I was a kid. Like I started writing my first rhymes in like at 11. You know what I'm saying? In 6th grade, and I used to do it for like school projects. And I used to link with the homies on the corner. You know what I'm saying? In the circle, Roger Village has circles, so it's like, you know, we would chill in the circle, and we'd be like passing bars around every day after school. And you know, my parents, I grew up in a household where they didn't allow me to listen to rap. They said rap was destructive. Rap is you know, rap is terrible influence. You're not going to be playing that in my house. So I used to have to like sneak to my homie's crib. I used to go to my homie's crib, and that's where I would hear all my music. That's when I first saw the Izzo video, and I saw Hove, and I'm like, what is this? And like all of that. So all the music, all the hip hop I was ingesting was not at home. It was outside. And you know, when I was going to college, it was like, I'm going to go to do communications. I'm going to do broadcasting, because I was also good at news and on-air personality stuff and whatever. But in high school, I had a rap group with my homie Marcus, Too Thorough, and you know, we would be doing all that stuff. And it wasn't until my mom came to a show. She came to a show at the school, and she sat down, and she saw like just the type of reception and love we got at my school. And she was just like, you know, I got off stage, and we were leaving, and she was like, okay, David, I understand. You can do this. You can do this, right? That was with the caveat, or that was still with the fact that I'm still going to college. I'm still going to get a degree and get a profession. So here we go. Now I'm graduated from school, and I'm telling my parents I'm not using my degree. Like, I'm not going to do news, and I'm going to stay in Philly. I'm going to rap. And they were livid. They was not trying to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just wasn't, they was like, you know, we didn't sacrifice, we didn't come all the way to this country for you to just try to be a rapper. You know what I mean? But, you know, I put out some projects, got some relative success, and they're like, listen, as long as you good, we're good. And you're only, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're getting better with your craft, and you're doing this. So we support whatever you do now. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's your life. And if it fulfills you, and that's all that matters. And then naturally, I put out my Sherry, and then they love that. So, you know, the whole family, I because of that song, because of that little, that edit that C. White did with our home footage from when I was younger, like, I'm talking to relatives I haven't spoken to in 5, 6, 7 years. Like, calling me. Yeah, we're getting on the phone, and like, now, like, we're making plans for Labor Day. We all coming to the house, like, da-da-da-da-da.
Any of them rap? Huh? Any of them rap?
Yeah, none of them rap. I'm the only rapper. Everyone else is either a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer. I'm the only rapper in the family. But they've always loved that David did his own thing. But, yeah, man, it's been beautiful.
Man, that video is dope, man. With
the
whole family video.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at it on your Instagram.
Word.
Official. I like that, man. That was a good idea, man. I don't know whose idea it was, but it was definitely a good idea.
What?
Go ahead. What you say?
What was that party? Tell us about it.
Oh, okay. So let me first start off with Mike's.
Yeah.
So the idea, it was me, Eric, and C White. Shout out to C White. Y'all had him on a couple weeks ago. That's the homie. So it's me, C White, and Eric sitting around thinking of ways that we can create promotion for the new singles that are coming out, and Better Late Than Never. And one of the things I threw out, because we're talking about, it's a song rooted in my Haitian culture, and it's like, yo, it'd be dope if we could see like Haitians dancing, but it's COVID, we can't do that. We really can't get people together and stuff. And I had brought up the fact that, well, yo, I got some old home video footage at my crib from my first and third birthday parties, and if you know any Haitian celebration, all they need is a reason for them to get together and party. So it was like, I could grab that if y'all want, and then Eric's like, yo, that's it, like, go do that. So it was like, cool. This originally was supposed to be only like, under 60 seconds for Instagram, some promo that see why they just chop something together real quick. I call home and I asked my parents like to get the footage, and my dad's gonna be like, David, I searched top and bottom, I cannot find this. I cannot find this video. I can't find the video. I watch everything. I don't see it. I'm like, yo, I know it's this, and I'm like, yo, I know it's home. Y'all are pissing me off. I was like, all right. So I had a day off. I drove back because my parents live in the Poconos now. They don't live in New York. So I drove to my parents' crib in the Poconos. Lo and behold, as soon as I get there, the 2 cassettes are right there where I knew they were. So I grabbed them. I came back to Philly and I got the footage. Digitally digitized. And it was like a couple days before My Sherry, the single, was dropping. So I linked with C White. He was like, all right, man, let's just look through the footage and see what we could do. And what was supposed to start as a minute promo was like, damn, this feels really dope. This feels real heartwarming. This feels like people can connect to it, relate to it. It feels nostalgic. It's like, let's run with it. So we did we decided to shoot a whole 3 minutes and 30 edit a whole 3 minutes 30 seconds, and that was the My Sherry video. We weren't even planning for it to be a full music video, but it turned out working great. But yeah, Jason, that's my first. It's a mix between my first and my third birthday parties, and and the opening shot was actually from my baptism. And that tape had gotten taped over from my first birthday, so that had popped up at the end of the footage. That had popped up like the screen warped. It like warped, and then it was that, and just my dad holding me, my mom looking in the church, and Sweat is like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Yo, this must be my baptism. I never seen this. Like, I don't know what this is." And then he was like, that's it. We got to use that. That's what we're gonna use to open it. And then yeah, man. He did his thing with that. So I'm happy it's been received the way it has. Like it's been dope.
That's awesome. So what did like? You listen to music like sometimes we talk. We're like, yo, what you listen to and shit. Like, what have you listened to through COVID that was like, like.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, because when it first dropped, I didn't pay much attention to it, and also he didn't promote it well. But yo, that Childish Gambino album, the 3/15/20, okay. I was sleeping on that. I revisited it in like April, and yo, that record is amazing. Like it's really dope. He didn't do any promo. He hasn't talked about it. It's like I feel like he purposely wanted it to get slept on, like for whatever reason, but maybe that's just how he operates.
But when it came out in COVID and it was just like it dropped, I think I listened to it and I was like,
right, exactly.
It was like sometimes you listen to music and it's like that was a body of work.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I could have an opinion of it, but it was like it was well put together. Whether you know what I mean, like it was a nice body of work, like. And I think I checked it another time and like. Never went back to it, not because it was bad, just because it was like, it was so much going on. Yeah. But I asked because, like, our next segment we're moving into is our music review segment, right? Where we like, we listen to albums and we talk about it. And this week was Bad Bunny and The Roots, Do You Want More? Specifically listening for Malik B versus the
RIP Malik B.
Genius. But I pass it off to Jason after that lead up of like doing exactly what he would do.
Yeah, what do you want to start with? Boss, you want to talk about Bad Bunny?
I start with Bad Bunny first, please.
Yeah. I got a clip if you want to listen to that first.
Let's do it.
Sure, play the clip.
All right.
Play the clip. Let's hear it.
All right. So the song's called Yo Pero Sola. And from as best I can understand is like people are saying like I'll dance by myself or I'll twerk by myself. And this has to do with like a lot of the he's done a lot of activism surrounding like LGBTQ rights and trans rights and things like that. And this song kind of has to do with that. Like the whole idea of the song is like, it doesn't matter how, like if she says no, she's dancing by herself. She doesn't want to dance with you. You got to leave her alone. Let her dance by herself.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's Jay. Way to do your friggin' homework on that album, man. Word up, man. Woo! So impressed, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and when he performed this song on, I think it was Fallon. He actually wore a shirt with the name of a trans woman who was killed in Puerto Rico, and just calling that out and drawing awareness to it. So he's done a lot of activism surrounding that, but also around the Puerto Rico after the hurricane last year, and a lot of things about the Puerto Rican rights and states' rights and things like that. So anyway, here we go. I think I've got it connected here. Roll it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand a word they're saying, but that's hot.
I mean, I'll start there. First of all, I'm going to leave Eric for last because he's our resident reggaeton aficionado, as displayed by his Spanish cornrows.
Nigerian and Boricua all rolled up in the Eric. Like, I don't even know how that happened.
You know what I mean?
No.
He's Afro-Latino. He's Afro-Latino.
Leave him last.
You know what I'm saying?
But I want to say that, you know, first of all, the music's incredible, right? Like, it gives me the feels. It feels like Cuba for me. That was my last Caribbean place. It feels like the club. Like, it feels like Fifth Street. But I have to be honest. I did not like I didn't know what he was saying, but it felt good. You know what I'm saying? And that's on me because, like my guy J-Dog, he went and did the research. And first of all, J-Dog, I gotta say, I appreciate you putting J-Dog in your
I know. And with the W, I thought that was
Yeah,
He's starting to own it. He's been fighting it all these weeks.
That's how James spelled it when he texted me that yesterday. So you know.
For sure. So, I would say I have to be honest. I did not understand a word, but the vibe was there, and it made me move and shit. And I'll leave it at that. How about you, Mike?
I'm in the same boat as you, Dane. I threw it on. I sat through the first 3 songs, and the bounce is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the car and I'm going.
Yeah.
The first 2-3 songs, and then I'm like, all right, is he gonna say something in English? Because if not, he's gonna lose me. And eventually he did. Because I mean, not because like same as Damon, not because it's not a well-produced album and it sounds good. I just don't understand Spanish.
It's because of our ignorance.
It's my own ignorance. Like, I can't take nothing away from the quality of the album. I just didn't understand any of it. You know, and I'm not opposed to listening to music that I don't understand. It was just hearing the same artists and this, you know what I'm saying? The same voice.
You can't hear a whole album of that.
Yes, exactly. Like, if it was a reggaeton mixtape, I'd have been all right with it because it would have switched up on me a couple times. But hearing the whole album, and again, it's only fault of my own for not understanding Spanish. I can't blame him for it. But, I mean, I think it sounds like it's a good album.
I will say...
I just can't say for sure because I didn't understand anything he was saying.
There's
Big Dog did the research.
well, as far as
But if Jay would to read me all the lyrics, then I could judge that.
no, I'll let y'all do that yourself. But as far as a reggaeton mixtape, I like this album is 20 songs long, and it actually is really varied. Like, yes, there is a lot of the reggaeton rhythm in there. You know, there's a lot of that same one, but he goes all over the place. There's a lot of stuff that's damn near like American trap, you know, and everything in between. And
that's what drew me in.
yeah, it has a lot of different sounds, and I feel like it almost feels a little scattered because it does kind of go in a lot of places. But I enjoy the variety because also, like, you know, like I don't understand English either, you know, so I'm listening.
You don't understand English? Or Spanish?
I'm sorry, Spanish.
I don't understand English either.
You know, like, I don't know. I'm listening to it like a jazz album or like an instrumental album, you know, like I'm not there for the lyrics, you know, like it's all about feels and vibes, you know.
I'm a lyric guy, man. So that's why it couldn't hold me. Like, I can listen to an a cappella album as long as the lyrics are good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a lyric guy. I can listen to somebody sing or rap or whatever, do poetry all day long without any music. So listening to that album was my struggle, is because I couldn't understand the story.
I will say the first time I listened to it, it was in a car, was smoking a blunt, you know what I'm saying? Just relaxing, bottled water, and it was like, I think it was like one of those like, yo, I don't know what anybody's saying about anything. You can be saying anything, but then today on my bike ride, I tossed it on, and it had me going.
Had you moving? I listened to it during my workout today, and it had me going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect for that, right?
And it takes me back to when Bad Bunny played Made in America, and it was like, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense. This is it. Like, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, I'll just chime in. I didn't listen to all of it, but I checked a good amount of it out because, you know, when Eric was in Tulum, he's like, listen, man, this is the wave. This is the shit right here. You know what I mean? And I know also on a brief stint on Tinder, all the Latina and Hispanic women, every single one had a Bad Bunny song as their anthem from the album. I was like, so it's got to be lit. You know what I'm saying? So this got to be that work. Because I can't tell you how many, like, damn near every single one of them had one of the songs.
Is this COVID Tinder or like just Tinder in general?
Oh, it was COVID Tinder because I was bored.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other segment that we got going on.
That might be a segment next week.
COVID Tinder. I got some COVID Tinder stuff too. And that's the whole thing. So, cool. Thank you. But now we got a whole new segment to bring you back on. You got to.
I'm with it. I got a lot to share. I'm good.
Eric, as our last, as our aficionado of.
Yeah. So I really connected with the first song on that record. That's actually what led me to the album. It was getting played out there. Just people I met from like Mexico City. Some actually like these girls from Peru were listening to it too. So it was just like one of those. I don't know. I really connected with that first song. I couldn't remember what it was. Like a couple days later, and I was texting this girl like just trying to find this song out. Once I figured it out, I realized it was the first track on his album.
Was it the drugs?
What'd you say?
Was it the drugs? Tell us about the trip, Eric. What's happening?
That was a lame pickup line. That's how I would say the same thing, Yaya. That was a lame pickup line. I can't remember the name of this album. Can you just hit me back with it real quick, please?
Hey, it might have been lame, but it worked for him.
But it worked. Yeah, you're right. It worked. I guess it ain't that
lame. Lame for no reason.
No, we fucking around. Go ahead.
Short in the story.
No, go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
No, I just really connected with the first song, Y Si Ve a Tu Mamá, which is like, and I see your mom is how he says it in the, and if I see your mom, kind of like singing to his ex, and like little info on me. The same week that I heard this song for the first time, two of my exes, one announced she was pregnant and the other got engaged.
Woo!
So I was feeling some type of way, and I really connected with the song.
Let's talk about that emotion.
That's got a Girl from Ipanema flip in it, right? In the track.
What the? Oh yeah. So yeah, once I realized it was the first track on his album, I just like ran through it and just kept running through it, probably like halfway through my trip in Mexico. So it was kind of it's kind of the anthem.
You had the atmosphere for it though, man. Like if I was in Mexico, I probably would have rocked with it a little harder. But
Yeah,
Girl was
you
sexy.
know what I'm saying?
was
Driving up Broad Street, it really didn't do it for me.
Also why he was so excited. So like he was like, "Yo, Bad Bunny, let's do Bad Bunny." And it was like, "Okay." And he was like, "And now we get it." He, you know what I mean? He's in Mexico City with chicks from Peru. His ex-girl's texting him.
Yeah, it's a vibe for him.
Drake song.
Yeah,
He's a Drake song, and we're trying to. You know what I mean? Okay.
Well, Aime's gonna hear it in his new neighborhood because Kensington's Puerto Rican as fuck.
Yeah. No, when I pulled up to look at the house on Friday, it was about 15 old head Dominicans out on the block playing merengue and like and sipping. So I know exactly where I'm at.
We need to get those PAF shirts, those Puerto Rican as fuck shirts popping. That's McKenzo.
Right.
Yeah, but it ain't I like Bad Bunny though, man. Like I've listened to a couple of his singles. You know what I mean? I like it as a single. I just can't rock with it for a whole album. That's all.
Hey man,
But it's a ton of albums.
Mike, it's been a rare of an album that you've been able to rock with through the whole album. So I mean that sounds about right. You know?
Yeah, so it's average, right?
The only thing that you've been able to rock with really has been Reef the Lost Cause. And you know, so
I rocked with Aime's old the EP. Which one was that? That came out at 19, the last one. The one with 99 on it.
We're gonna move forward though.
Okay. We got to keep it pushing.
Because we got so much more to talk about, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next up, in honor of our fallen comrade Malik B, depending on how well you knew him, we went back to listen to and revisit the Do You Want More album from The Roots. So wanted to turn a somber moment into like a reflective, like, oh shit moment, right? Malik B was, I can't call him an old head because he's only 2 years older than me. But with talent and with like, just like somebody that's like, you know, he dressed like your old head when he was 2 years older than you. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, he dressed like you know what I mean? Like a classic, like South Philly, like G. And so just want to give it up for Malik B and do a little shot, maybe take a little sip or take a little smoke or whatever you got going on. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Aime, I don't know how you went from a Dragon's Milk to a
Bex.
No, it's a Stella. And no, it's a Stella. And the reason why I went to that is because I've learned how to pace myself. I'm a lot different than back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Smart.
Let's talk about the growth.
It's adult play. Nice adult play. He hit us with buying a house. He hit us with pacing himself. All grown up.
Man, I don't even know you no more, bro.
We talking about buying houses. You know what I'm saying? Off of that rap money. We talk about pacing yourself with drinking.
You know,
I'm trying to live for forever, not just for right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Look at this guy.
So,
what's wrong with living for right now?
We're gonna put up a glass for Malik B. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just say, yo, we appreciate and thanks. You know what I'm saying? And so, flashback, the year 1994. Our album recorded in 1993. Do you want? Oh, those like the flashes back.
Yeah.
Got some shit in there. It ain't gonna happen. We're not that savvy yet, but we're getting there. Episode 8. Let's talk about it. So, what are some things that stand out to you guys from the record and from Malik B specifically?
If I'm, I guess for me to start, you know,
what? First of all, we just had a conversation about people feeling not comfortable to jump in, and so far you've been super comfortable jumping in. So jump on in, bro.
All right. Well, yeah, nah. You know, everyone talks about, you know, Only Built for Cuban Links, and how as much of a classic album as that was for Raekwon, it was for Ghost too, and it was because of Ghost's contribution. And that's what Malik's contribution was to that album. It was like, it would have been, it's dope on its own. It's dope with, like, you know, Black Thought with Tariq as being the main MC, but without Malik, he added a different ingredient to it and a spice to it. And it's like, it makes the album. Just like them going back and forth for so many of those records. Like, it's for real. So it wouldn't be the album without him.
Mike, this is right up your alley, Mike.
No, I agree. I think the back and forth, like, this was my introduction to the Roots. And actually the first single off of that one with the laughing, the ha 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 ha, I didn't care for the hook, but I seen them open for Mad Lion at Millersville University. and like, I went for the Mad Lion show, and then they came on and they had, you know, it was Quest, and they had like they did some classic Slick Rick and some Rakim, and I'm like, yo, who the hell are these guys? And I'm like, yo, they gonna be next level with it, because their show and their stage presence was just unbelievable. You know what I mean? Nothing I had ever seen in hip hop before I seen them that day, right? And so then I went and got the album, and I was like, yo, these dudes are really about it, you know? And then that back and forth flow where you know what I mean? That I always been a fan of artists or groups, I guess, or artists who are able to write and be able to bounce off each other. And on that album, there was multiple songs where the two of them were able to bounce off each other. And honestly, I thought it would be Black Thought and Malik for the whole Roots career, because I looked at them as a group. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we all know that shit happens and people move on with their lives. But I think he's definitely a spice on that album that made the album pop and makes the album a classic album. You know what I mean? If people who haven't heard it or got onto the Roots way late, you know, go grab it, because it's a classic hip hop album, and Malik is a huge part of why it is.
Hey, J-Dog, what do you think, J-Dog?
I'll jump in there because I came to the Roots later. You know, I'm not from Philly. I moved here in like 2007. So I think the first one I got was The Tipping Point. And so I didn't really know, you know, I all I knew was really Black Thought at the helm. So it's been fun, like, since then, like, digging back into the catalog and, like, hearing Malik's stuff. And even hearing you, Dame, recently talking about how he would influence Thought and how, like, they would influence each other. And, you know, I think because Thought's stuck around, we all, like, we all idolize him. We see him climb into, like, heights of just sticking in it for years and years. But, you know, it's cool to see where he got some of his flow and stuff. And even you were talking about that scat and listen to that song. And I think that specifically you can hear, like, I think Malik flows with the singing thing, like, fresher than Thought does, you know, like, you can see Thought trying to, like, trying to get it from Malik, you know. So it's been cool learning back catalog, you know, and exploring it.
For sure. Eric, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts?
I was like probably like 6 years old when this album came out.
And I'm talking about going to see it live, right? Y'all gonna stop with that bullshit. Y'all gonna stop with that.
Like, in regards to this album, I was late to, right? Because Roots, it was like, I was like a casual listener when I was a kid, you know, and then Tipping Point hit, and I think that's when, like, Don't Say Nothing was like the single. I remember that's when I really started to fall in love with the Roots, you know what I mean? So everything post that I really knew.
That was my first Black Thought verse I memorized.
yeah, probably same. I think same. Yeah, and you know, all these albums were albums I would go back to after that, you know. And I think you know, like growing up here, it's like, you know, you hear the Roots everywhere you go. You can't go out in the summer and not hear some of these records. You know what I mean? A lot of them live with them playing, you know, different versions of them and shit. So I think the thing that I realized was like, damn, there's so many like classics, like hits on that album. There's a lot that it's just like, you know, and a lot of them, you know, what I noticed about Malik was like, you know, he was kind of always bringing a fresh flow to something, and a lot of those flows that felt like flows that like Black would kind of go into later, like Tariq would kind of like, you'd hear these flows later on, you know, years later from Tariq kind of. It was just like these little glimpses of it, like, you know, and I think there was a lot of them there in that whole album, you know what I mean, where he's just like, just kind of rapping totally different, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, I'm not going to say I came to the Roots later, but I came to the Roots from work, from working at Red Bull, from booking them for things. So Malik, I never really knew that much about him. So to hear the album for me felt like putting together some missing pieces. I felt like we were always in the same circles. Everyone that I knew him and knew the history, and I didn't. So really kind of being able to listen to that album from start to finish was, for me, eye-opening to really understand like the appreciation and the loss that everybody feels since he's been gone. So I appreciated that aspect.
Cool. Well, for me, it brings me back to like, I was super young, but like one of my first jobs in the music industry, I would say, and it wasn't even a really official job, but one of my first jobs was when the Roots were recording the Do You Want More album. There was a producer, Kilo, who's an awesome producer / engineer. He does like live shows. He's incredible. I guess he had just came back from like doing like producing like Belle Biv DeVoe or some shit, and so his job was to take what they played and then like sample it and beef it up and make it like sound more hip hop than like live instrumentation. So he came back from LA, and there was a hotel called the Ramada Inn in Chinatown, and so he had his whole studio and a suite in the Ramada Inn, and my job was to like pretty much just stay in this hotel room and make sure his shit was safe, right? So I got to watch Organics that was made in like about 24 hours, like less than a day, all at once. But then the Do You Want More album was a pleasure to like. I got to watch that like get made, and because I had like an official job, which kind of like kept me off the streets, which was awesome as well. So all to say is that like I've been around the Roots since I was in high school. And Malik B, like Black Thought always like, some of his greatest groups that he admired were like groups. It was like, like Nice and Smooth. We spent a lot of time listening to like Nice and Smooth and we memorized that Nice and Smooth. If you listen to like half of the Do You Want More album, it kind of gives you like a Tribe Called Quest feel. Right, you know what I'm saying? And, that was a duo and shit. But, like, Malik was a little more than just, like, and no disrespect to Fight Dog, he was a little more than a fight. He was a little more than, like, a side guy. He was, like, it was, like, an equal thing. Like, where you listen to, like, he's had other partners in rap. Like, before Malik or during Malik, there was, like, Kid Crumbs. It was like a partner, but it was like a little brother, big brother kind of partner in a way and shit. You know what I'm saying? On the Do You Want More album, there's like like my man Uncle Ray Ray, Elohim, Rahani. Like he probably recorded like for a lot of the songs on that album too. And he made a few records and shit. But like Malik wasn't like, he was an equal. I listened to songs like, That Scat or or even like a Swept Away, where you're like, yo, this dude's like, he's got harmony. He's got, well, you expect Tariq to have, or Black Thought to have, like, that harmony and that flair. Malik has his own harmony and his own flair. And it was natural. It wasn't like a forced thing. Like, and to harken back to like what Mike said about the performances, once you see the show, you're like, you're caught. You're trapped in it, right? But like, you expect Tariq at a show, or Black Thought at a show to like have this flair and to like, you expect certain things from that. But then when Malik would follow and he looks a certain way, he looks South Philly, you know, he doesn't have the dreadlocks. He doesn't have that look and feel. He has a different look and feel, but has that same creativity and that same like spark to challenge whoever else. It was like, that's what kind of caught people in the show. It was like, oh wait, you expect this, but you don't expect this guy to look and feel like this, but then still have that creative like flair to like do his own scat or do his own harmony. You know, he's performing on songs with Cassandra Wilson and all these like greats, these jazz greats. And it's like, what? Like, how is he doing? Like, you know, and he was comfortable in it on stage. He was comfortable in it, like in the studio. Like, he didn't have a worry about going there because he felt comfortable, I guess, in that space. So that's what I take from Malik, like, you know, just that supreme confidence in what he was doing. That like, it didn't matter who he was rapping with. There's so many stories of him like rapping with like random people on the street or in the back of a club, or I met him and we just started freestyling. It's like he felt comfortable wherever he was doing what he loved in that way. So I don't know. I could go on, but you know, we got a long ass show, and I just think it's important to like give credit to like to the people that influence so much, but might not get mentioned so much after they're gone, you know. But he was a treasure, and a super talent. So just wanted to again hold up a glass and say thank you, Malik B, thank you, Malik B, thank you, Slacks. And yeah, so
can I ask you a question?
Let's go.
Were they working with Smelts on this album?
No, they were working.
Free Smelts.
The first album, well, I guess that's the second album. It was recorded at Sigma Sounds, and they were working with Dave Ivory. And you know, now working with Smelts for after like 10 years or so, you know, Smelts will be like, "Yo, it's Malik's fucking. It was him that caused him to even get involved with the Root." There's stories, you know, of why they had to leave Sigma and go over and work in a different studio that involved Malik.
We'll leave that right there. Bro. We'll leave it right there.
Leave that right there.
You know, it's like we can laugh about that now. You know what I'm saying? Because those things that like, you know, those are small things because you want people. You don't just want memories, you want people and shit, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, you know, Jonathan, you're like, yo, I thank Malik because I wouldn't have had a chance to work on all those records if it wasn't for him. You gotta say thanks, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, you want to listen to "Swept Away"?
Let's do it. Yeah, man, it's one of my favorites.
All right.
Yo, could I just say, man, Malik is probably the only cat I've ever heard rhyme with Black Thought and was like, yo, man, I think he got Black Thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Think about how many songs you've heard Black Thought on, and you was like, yo, man, like.
Yeah, he always has the best verse.
There's one more.
Black always has the best verse.
No. There's one more. But
Which one was that? Which one?
The one he got with Pun. The one Black Thought has with Big Pun. You ever heard that?
Pun is sick, though.
Pun
is sick.
But besides that,
when I
Black
just
Thought is
listening
crazy.
to that one just now, it just made me think, like, yo, man, how many songs have I heard another MC on with Black Thought where I felt like that MC you know what I mean? Like
and how many-
outshine Thought a little bit.
Right.
And how many people know Pun's name, and how many people know Malik B's name? You know.
Talk about it.
Mm.
Yo, whose verse came first? Do you know that, Dame, on that? Who wrote first?
No, but I do remember the session, and I do remember like I got to meet Cassandra Wilson and shit, and I was like, "What?" Yeah, man, like, but I'm not sure whose came first, but Malik was always quick. He was always like, it's kind of like the way he freestyle was kind of like the way he rapped too, like. Like you listen, you be like, yo, where'd that where'd that come from? And he just be stuck on the flow, just like, you know what I mean, doing this thing. I'm not sure which came first. I don't remember, but I do remember like meeting Cassandra Wilson, and like, I mean, at that time, like I was young, but she was older, but she was hot. Just saying, like. Never forgot.
Yeah, man, this verse is crazy. The way he's like throwing his rhymes all over the bars, you know, like.
And I mean, he was the ultimate like counterbalance to like.
Because it's more freeform and not as it's not as calculated. It seems like he's living in the pocket versus like I'm trying to be on top of it.
That's exactly what it is too, man. You know, you hear MCs trying to find that space. It's like it just comes so natural for him.
Comfortable.
Man. It's crazy.
Super comfortable. Didn't matter where he was, what the music was. Like just like when he was in his zone, he was super comfortable. Like you know, I could go on, but you know, like I said, time permitting. But like that's the one thing that I take from him is just like being comfortable. Like when you're in the zone, when it came to the music, he was just like. You know, he was on out, and geez, like I can go into like all the times he'd be like, "Yo," he would encourage me when nobody else would. Like, you know, me, Tariq, and Rahani lived together for the whole year while the record was being made, and you know, Malik would show up and be like, "What you doing?" He'd be like, "You know what I'm saying? Roll some weed, smoke some weed, whatever." He'd be like, "Play your beats." And I'd be like, "What?" Nobody would be asking me to play my beats. He'd be like, "Play your beat, yo." Like, he'd be like, "You want to fuck with that one? Play it again." I'd be sitting there rewinding the same tape.
That's what's up, though, man.
You know
That's what's up.
Like, it made you feel like somebody was like, "Yo, all right, somebody check in." You know what I'm saying? Like, so he always made people feel comfortable. And you'll hear the stories of like him. Oh, I met him and I was in the back of this place and he started rapping. We started rapping. And like, there's so many people out there that like. That are proud that they got into a cipher and Malik B was in it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Malik was in it. They got to rap with him and like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, can't say enough. Right. And can't say too much. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. So, I mean, you know, there's so many stories from that time that we can revisit. It's amazing. But to move forward, you know what I'm saying, into the present, we got the whole future legend, Aime, you know what I'm saying, the future Haitian American legend, Aime. So, talk about being in Philadelphia. We've been talking about the roots and Malik for a minute, like in the rich musical history from Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Like that you've been able to like be a part of at this point.
Right. You want me to talk about that?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going into another question.
That's the question.
What's it called? Yeah. It's been amazing. Being from New York, you know what I'm saying? You know how New York is. You know how New Yorkers are. It's like, we are hip hop. Ain't no other city. There's no nothing, whatever. And it's been incredible to learn so much coming to Philly and knowing how much I didn't know, you know, what came from here, like learning about cornbread and like, it's just like, and like just different, so many things that, so many ways Philly like contributed to hip hop, but not just hip hop, just like way before that, like soul music, like so many, everybody and their mother came through Philly, you know what I'm saying? And it has such a rich culture and history. And what I can really appreciate is, you know, shout out to you for bringing me into Smelters and soaking so much game up from Smelts himself and learning. It looks like Dane might have left this for a second. Oh, man. And I was
I'll be your host. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it going until he comes back. But yeah, being with John Smelts through Dame, he's worked with everybody, and I learned a lot of lessons, just like through like just working with people from here, working with Dame, working with even Eric, and just learning things. Like Philly has so much to offer from the rap battles. One big thing about Philadelphia that was very impressive on me, or made an impression on me in high school, was watching rap battles, the DVDs. Like that's like that's like probably some of the biggest Philly impact on me. You could tell that Philadelphia is just a city of just hungry, raw spitters. And that was my favorite thing. I used to love to go see like Reed Dollars and Joey Jahed and all these motherfuckers on like on the Smack, not on Smack, on Too Raw for the Streets and all that, and watching these battles on YouTube, like, damn, this is vicious. And then be able to come here and then eventually hop in those ciphers. I don't know if people remember the Rotunda, but my freshman year of college, 06, like my freshman year of college in 06, 07, we was in the Rotunda like once a month, every first, I forgot what it was, every second something. But we was there every time. We were there every time. It would be
still going.
Is it still going?
Still going. Every last Thursday night of the month.
Oh man.
The gathering.
Word. Let me catch Dame up a little bit. Well, Dame, the last thing I said, I mean, after talking about Smelts and all that, but talking about like probably some of the biggest influence Philly had on me was the battle rap scene. That was me in high school. And like Too Raw for the Streets and YouTube and watching Joey Jahed and Reed Dollars and all of that. Like, you know, it showed me how raw and how much Philly like was a city of spitters, like raw spitters and stuff. And it's something I really appreciated. But I was talking about the Rotunda and like being heavy in the Rotunda my freshman, sophomore year of college, and then going once a month with the breakdancing and then getting on stage and then like hopping in the ciphers with these dudes. And that's what gave me life. That's what I was like, oh man, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
So you met a member of my former rap group.
Oh yeah.
Ibrahim.
Huh?
Ibrahim.
Yeah. Yes.
I did.
Yeah, we were in a rap group together.
Oh, really?
Through the 90s. Yeah, for sure.
What?
Just real quick, me and Ibrahim, the group was already named, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the name was passed down to me and two other members, Lord I Kill and Conway.
Word.
And we met Ibrahim at the Roots video shoot for Pass the Popcorn.
Oh, snap.
And it was like, yo, and my man brought him down, was like, yo, he should be your next member. And because Lord I Kill got a solo deal and was signed to like a neighborhood like Hustlers like label. Shout out to Toby, and rest in peace to Toby, because whatever, is the whole thing. Anyway, so we met him at the Roots video shoot, and so yeah, I know you ran the Rotunda, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's crazy. Well, I mean, Mr. Philadelphia Dame, like that's crazy. You know what's funny? As long as I've worked with Dame, he's never played me any of this music, any of these rap songs. He hasn't played me any of this stuff. And there was one time, so I had there was a little sponsorship type deal going on. There's like a streetwear brand in New York called Brooklyn Circus. And I had, they had selected me to come be a part of the campaign for them. And I was like, all right, dope. So I went up to New York that day and we were shooting, and I met this dude named Andrew, and we're like talking, and he's like, so yeah, where you from? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm coming from Philly. And he was like, word, I know Philly well, I love Philly and shit. And I was like, oh yeah, like he was like, yeah, man, like I got some homies out there. And I was like, yeah, man, well, so what are you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm working with my boy Dame. And he's like, Dame? Yeah, Dame Adelphia. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And then he named the group too. He's like, from the, and I was like, I don't know that. And he was like, wait, Dame's never played you any of his raps? I was like, nah. He was like, that's crazy. He was like, I gotta play you this. Like, I'm gonna find the music and I'm gonna send it to you. It's like, you have to listen to it. Like, yo, yeah, they used to get it in, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it was hilarious. And I'm talking to Dame afterwards or whatever. He's like, oh, man, you want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. You don't hear that stuff.
You know, it's funny because Dame is like, you know, Courtney introduced me to Dame, right? Then I got a good friend, Courtney Fleming. And I mean, super dope producer, got the same history as Dame, but it's the same story, dude. Like, every time I hear something from this dude, he's like, I'm like, yo, that's kind of dope. He's like, oh, yeah, it's whatever. Like, I don't know what it is about y'all guys out here, man. Like, yo, man, show off. What the y'all behind it for? Like, if you good, tell everybody you good, man.
What's funny is Courtney was one of, like there was a handful of, like, producers that, like, I would go to with, like, my ideas. Like, whether it be, like, I had a gang of samples that I would, like, let's go one together. Or I had, like, a gang of ideas that I would try to, like, get out on my own. And Courtney was one of them. Courtney, like, first of all, Courtney, Google Minds and Soul. He was in a group with Montez, Spawn, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can go on. But, like, Courtney, as a producer, incredible. And he was, like, one of the people that I was like, yo, you should be doing this. Like, you bringing me all this shit. Like, you should be doing this your goddamn self. Like, what are you doing? So, shout out to Court. And to Aime, Andrew Cunningham, he was like, he was a bass player for my group. Like, we had a band. Like, we had, like, you know, shortly after the Roots, like they recorded the album and then rolled out. Like, we kind of, like, was like, yo, like, there's a void. So we started playing, my group started playing out on South Street. So we had a band, we had a bass player, drummer, and we play out, we bust and, like, you know what I mean? And then we get shows from that in the same vein. Right. And Andrew was our bass player who, like, he's an incredible artist in his own right, like, visual artist, incredible graphic design, like, and it was just, like, random that, like, he called me like, what? Who?
Yeah.
Andrew? Oh, no. I got to burn these tapes.
Yeah, and it was like, I called Dame, and Dame was like, that's crazy you met Andrew, like, of all places in the Bronx and shit. Like, we were up in the Bronx doing this shoot. But it was dope because we got to go back later that year when they were actually doing the installation or whatever they were doing for Sennheiser Audio in Manhattan. And then so, like, Dame came with me, and then it was like a reunion. So I'm, like, soaking up game, listening to all the stories. That shit was dope. It was fire. But Dame still won't play me the music, but it was dope.
I never played the music. It's on DAT tape, so you can't even hear it.
Yo, I got a DAT player.
No more.
I got a DAT player.
There you go. Right there. You got
have a DAT player, Mike.
Yo,
Hey,
Aime,
Mike, you gotta bring it over here.
I'm fucking with you. I ain't got one, but I know where there is one.
Man.
I got a hope. I know where we can find
I
one.
know who has one. Too.
I got one question before I open it up to the group and we shut it down, right? Like, for myself, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a horrible OG. You know what I mean? So can you just tell me one thing that you learned from me that stuck? Because I don't, sometimes I'm talking, I'm like, did I just say that? Maybe that needs to be said. But just give me, like, one piece of advice that really made sense. So I can, like, show this to, like, my family and my friends and be like, hey, I'm good at this. You know, like, in my mind, I'm like, I think I'm good at it, but, like, if you can help me out and tell me one thing that, you know what, he was right about that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I feel good, and then, like, my family will feel good.
Yeah, well, there's dozens of life experience and just real man shit that I learned from you. But
how to pace yourself with drinking? Yeah,
well, no, things like that, like calming down and stuff like that, of course. But not to get into that, but if we're gonna talk technically or, you know, me with my music where I'm at in my career, like I tell people all the time, finding the pocket and finding the right cadence to go with a beat is probably the most it's probably the most impactful thing that you've done for me outside of everything else. But, like, honestly, I've found I've become real dope with that. And, like, just listening to something and then wording to it and then coming with the right flow in the pocket. And, like, you were the one that was so so, you know, tough on me about like, that's not it. Rewrite that. That that's not the cadence. That's not the pocket. That's not it. It's like, no, you like go back, like find the flow. All right, that's the flow. And like now before I write rhymes for anything, it's what's the flow first? What's the right way? What's the right way to attack this? Before I even write the lyrics, it's like, what is the right way to attack this? And that is something that I got from being in the dojo with you and going to the crib and like, I got this verse, or I got the verse for the song, and I write it, and you're like, nah, that's not it, man. That's not it. That's not it. Like, you got to find the pocket. You got to find the cadence. And I say that like for, you know, technically. But outside of all of that, you know, shout out to C-White again. You know, that's like my brother and stuff. He's always around me. But it's funny how he comments on the fact that like I've inherited all these dameisms, as we call it. And it's just like, it's like the way I move, the way I approach, like the way I might move at a party, the way I move at a bar, maybe the way I approach, like, or the way I'm talking with women or people, whatever. It's like, he's like, yo, you have so much dame in you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, my 8-year-old daughter says,
it's like game that I soaked from, you know, my OG. And it's like, never ever sleep on how great and how dope of an OG you are and that you have been to me, because it's representative in every day, in every.
Well, thank you for the forced love. You know what I'm saying?
That's not. Way to
set yourself up for a compliment, Dave.
I mean, that's where you got this shirt, man.
Oh yeah, this shirt. Yo,
so what do you want?
David, yo, wow.
I totally missed that.
Yeah, that's how.
There's only like 3 of these shirts.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just saying.
I know, man. That's a fucking collector's item.
I was going to say, my own 8-year-old daughter now says that's going to be a no for me, dog.
That's great.
Nice. Nice.
Well, I feel like this episode's been a lot about me, and it should be about Aime. It should be about the come up. It should be about the album coming soon. What's the title?
The album title is Jean 316, and Jean, not John. Jean is actually, my first name is Jean David. I'm Haitian.
Okay, friendship, bro.
Yeah. And the first song I wrote, which is to one of Eric's beats, that's the intro to the project. It was written on March 16th, and so it didn't even hit me until like a month and a half later that, oh damn, I'm looking in the notes, like putting the track list together and like looking at all this stuff. It's like, damn, I wrote that on March 16th. I was like, damn, maybe that's the album, because you know it's been a New Testament for me, and John is like in the New Testament of the Bible. So
that's what's up.
I'm rolling with that.
Hey,
Okay.
Dude, you heavy on that Bible, the Book of David.
Well, Book of David. That's shout out to Dame, because you know what was.
I see he ducked his head down. Where'd that go?
You know what was dope about the experience with, you know, what the dope thing was with the experience with Dame. I had met Dame and we didn't even work on music for a year.
That's what's up.
The first time I came over to his crib, I was like, all right, so you got beats? And he's like, what? Like, what? Like, yeah, I got beats. I'm not playing them for you. Like, that's not what's happening. You know what I mean? He's like, that's not how it worked. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, let's just build and let's chill, whatever. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know, like after I met him, like at the barbershop cypher, like, you know, they had the lineup.
Down at that video, but it like that one wasn't edited for some reason. That was like,
oh man, that was a time, man. My man C-White brought me through. He was like, yo, man, my man Dame, they got this thing called Philly Music Mag, and they've been doing this cypher where they're bringing MCs through to this barbershop in Southwest, and you know, everybody gets in the chair and then they spit a verse. So I show up and like, who was already in there? What's his name? I can't remember his name right now. Not Truck. Why can't I remember his name right now?
Baby Black.
No, not Baby Black. Huh?
Who was on your?
On my joint? Yeah, it was Baby Black was on my joint, and then Baby Black went crazy too. He bodied that shit. It was fire. But anyway, I'm sitting in the corner. I don't really know anybody. Oh yeah, Miss Jade was in it too. Miss Jade was on that one too. Oh, she went crazy. So I'm like in the corner. He was being a diva. What's his name? He wrote the play. What's his name?
Dice Raw.
Dice, I'm tripping, Dice. So it's Dice Raw, and so like, come in.
He's saying diva.
Yeah. No disrespect to Dice. No disrespect.
For like,
No, I had some beef.
Yeah, no,
This
no
gonna be the
disrespect.
promo.
But he's like in the
promo.
he's like in the all-white suit, feeling godly. You know what I'm saying? He's like in the chair, and like, you know, he's doing his takes, and he's like, I'm not feeling that. Dang, you got better beats than this. You should gave us a how to beat. Like, da-da-da-da. It was funny as hell. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and he goes, and then so the works go, and like a whole bunch of people go, and then so I finally get my step up. I don't know nobody in there, and so I'm sitting in the chair, and I like do my verse. I'm playing to the camera. I'm playing to the crowd. I think I one-taked it. I remember Dame playing it and looking at me like he was like, who the fuck is this? Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who is this guy? And then afterwards, it was like, yo, that was dope, man. Like, we should link. Da-da-da. I'm like, all right. And that was it. And then so then we link after that. Like, it might have been like the next week or something. And I go to his crib, and then we sitting there for like maybe half an hour. I'm like, then I bring it up. I'm like, so you got beats? Like, you know what I mean? You got beats? That's what I'm used to. You a producer, right? Give me some beats. And he's like, yeah, I got beats. Like, what do you mean? Like, that's not what it's about. So it was for like the next year. And I didn't know what was going on. Because I'm going to tell you for real, I wasn't sure what was going on, but I know he was bringing me around. We was going out. You know what I'm saying? And we were having a great time and stuff. And then it was finally, I went to his house, and he was like, I got the idea. That's called the Book of David. And I was like, and it was like, huh? Like, oh, we're talking about music now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, you talking about music now? And he's like, we should call the project Book of David. And he had basically been observing me and seeing who I was as a person and seeing how I like move in life and what was important to me and what I came up on. And he basically took that and came up with the concept for our first micro album. So that's how the Book of David came out. But yeah, that was
wow,
good.
that was well put.
Hey man, enough of talking fucking celebrating Dame. How the hell? You're right, Dame. How did this become you became the guest? Like Aime was supposed to be the guest.
This is my guy, man.
Yeah,
my guy.
Sure.
We had a talk. I was like, yo, it's time, yo. It's time to big me up. But no, I gotta say that, like, I was definitely on one, and I was definitely doing a lot of things at the time. And but it was a pleasure to like to go on that journey and shit, and like, you know what I mean? So but yeah, I guess it was like that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly I won't forget that. That's exactly how it was. After a certain time, it was like, I'm not gonna be making music with Dame. This is just my OG. Like we out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it was finally you made something for me. The first thing you played for me was Everything I Love. That was the first thing you played for me. And I was like, oh shit. And then that's when we started talking about the pocket. Like, yo, you gotta be like, how you gonna flow over this? And I remember writing multiple verses for that song. And you tell me that's not it. No, that's not it. That's not it. And I'm getting frustrated. Like, what? Like, da-da-da. But we got there, bro. It was a process. And I'm here now. You know, that's how we got
That was the first time I met y'all was recording that, right?
Huh? Yeah. And Eric met us. Eric met me being Smelter's apprentice, and when we were recording Everything I Love, and then that's it. So we here. You know what I mean?
It's funny to hear you say that, because like I feel like that's what you taught me, Dame, is kind of just like to not, you know what I mean, to like feel artists out before you really work with them. Like that whole like kind of, you know, the first time you get up with someone, it's like, you ain't playing on beats. Like maybe you play the music you made or something if they're asking, but it's like, you're not just like, you don't just dive into working with them. You kind of like got to feel them out. It's interesting to know that y'all didn't like really do shit for a year. That's crazy.
Exactly. We just talked. Wow. One of our first conversations was literally like, I asked him like, you know, who he likes and who he listens to and shit. And he was at the time, a super, 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 super big Wale fan.
Yep.
And
still in.
And
Will, shout out to Will.
And a lot of my, sometimes I just take an opposite like stance on something just to see what people are. You know what I mean? Like see how ride or die are you? You know what I'm saying? And so I took it with like, well, would you rather be Wale or J. Cole? And that was like our conversation. That conversation went on for like about an hour, 2 hours. Just like, you know, and for me, it was like honestly at the time, I was like, yo, this dude is I'm a fan of music, you know what I'm saying? But like, this dude is a super fan of like current music. And for me being like, you know, gilded by the music business, I'm like, man, fuck all these people and shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. let's get to like the actual business part of it. Like, who do you think is making like the best moves for themselves? And so, you know, if I could give anything, was like, you know, it was, I had been through I made a bunch of horrible moves in music, in business, you know what I'm saying? And I was trying to rectify that, you know what I'm saying? And for me, it started previously with like, yo, I don't send out beat CDs. I don't, at that time, I don't have like a batch of beats that I'm going to send you. I'm like, I want to make the record. You know what I'm saying? I want to make the actual record. And what I wanted you to get from that was like, yo, I wanted you to be able to like make the actual record. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it took me a while to learn how to make records. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning, like, you know what I mean, as I go along and shit. It's a delicate process. So that's what I was trying to get across. And a lot of the, you know what I mean? What I learned was like, you got to think through it sometimes. It's not just let's do it. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, what are the guidelines? Like, all that kind of thing.
Right.
So,
yeah. And that's what, and yeah, and that's what I soaked. Yeah, and that's what I soaked up, and that's where I feel I'm at now. That's how my Sherry happens. Where you take the music, and then you find the pockets and you make the right thing. So it's been amazing to have, you know, to be on here with y'all today. I'm so glad you guys could have me. You know,
look at you as a true rapper, true MC. Know how to wrap it up. No one is going to. You know what I'm saying? Okay. These bars
it's been amazing hanging out with y'all, but you know, I gotta go now.
Come over here and shit. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
But so I'll just finish it. I'll open it up. If there's any question by anybody else, anything anybody else wants to say?
I ain't got no questions, man. I just want to say, man, big up to you Queens rappers, man. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Queens MCs, man. You know what I'm saying? From Queensbridge, from Marley Marl, to Roxanne Shante, to Nas, to Tribe Called Quest, to friggin' Aime, to Run DMC, to big to Foul March. Big up all of Queens MCs, man.
No Prodigy love? Yeah, no.
Prodigy. Like, the list goes on and on and on. The list goes on and on and on. And we'd be in for another hour if I start naming all. Friggin' love them Queens MCs, man.
No, absolutely.
Way to friggin' bring on a friggin' Queens MC, Dame Nice. Thank you.
I'm gonna close it out with. I'm gonna close it out with. Hey, look, man. Mike checked out on this podcast for the day 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying? He said he wasn't going to be here. It wasn't until we told him that Aime was going to be on and he was from Queens that he decided to show up.
No, he didn't tell me. I had to find out on his music. It's a good thing I listened to his record. At 3:45, I wasn't going to show up.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man, they don't expect me, so I might as well not even show.
So
you know, I was like, oh,
see that Mike's the diva that won't be around for long. He's moving on to greener pastures as soon as this podcast check comes in. And, so I just want to say thank you for coming through, Aime. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
It was only fair and right that you be the 8th person on here, only because it was 7 motherfuckers before you. And yo, we appreciate you, and I see you in a little bit because you about to be over here.
For sure. We about to link.
On, we're up, and boom, in the game.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See y'all.
God.